today we are going to talk about 8 different maps. As you know, I love maps. So some of the maps we're going to talk about today are what is the real value of $100 per state, what is the average size of a U.S. apartment by region, who is the richest billionaire in each state. We're also going to look at a map of world billionaires, like where the billionaires are around the world, and a few other maps in between. So here is some interesting maps. So the first map we're going to look at is the real value of $100 per state. This is from data from February 2024. So you see the key down here that tells you how much, like if you went to a state with $100, how much it would actually be worth in that state. The 2 lowest states are Hawaii and California. Honestly, that does not surprise me at all. I'm actually surprised that the value of the $100 is worth as much as it is. The highest value is in Arkansas right here at $113.40. You're going to have 18 states that value is under $100, which are like Washington and Oregon, Colorado, Alaska, Florida, Virginia, Illinois, and then the East Coast here. Those don't really surprise me at all. I am a little surprised about Florida, but those don't really surprise me at all just because those are states that it seems a lot more expensive to live in, which I'll show in maps later on other videos, how much like housing and stuff is in those states. And then you're going to have 32 states where the value is over $100. Where I am in West Virginia, it's $110.80. Doesn't surprise me at all. I'm actually surprised it's not higher. And so most of the United States is actually is over $100 in the value of what a real $100 would be. So the value of $100 per state. So the next map is U.S. highways. So I love maps like these. So you can kind of see here this divide right about the border of Texas going up, where the West has black pockets. That means like nothing. That is nothingness. You can see like some of the major cities. So that would be maybe Denver, Salt Lake. You've got the coast here. Of course, when you go to the East Coast, you're going to have lots of congestion with lots of highways, like the New York, D.C., Philadelphia area. You've got Chicago. So you can see the bigger cities as the really bright lights. But I'm not surprised that there are way more roads here than there are out west. I've been out west when I was younger, and it's just a vast nothingness. All right, so the third map we're going to look at is the world's most surveilled cities. I did throw in a world map on this one. I think I might have 2 world maps. So you have Delhi, India right here that has 1,826.6 cameras per square mile. Per square mile. That's absolutely crazy. Compared to New York City, which is number 14 on the list, the only U.S. city on this list, with 193.7 cameras per square mile. That is absolutely crazy. The cities in China don't surprise me at all. China does have a lot of surveillance. There is Moscow in Russia. You've got Mexico City, and then you've got like London, and then you do have Seoul, South Korea on there. But it is surprising how many cameras are in India in their biggest city. All right, so the third one is the average size of a U.S. apartment by region. So the average size of a U.S. apartment is 882 square feet. Putting that in comparing to our house, word salad right there. The average square footage for a house is 2,299 square feet. So the largest area by region is going to be the Southeast with 975 square feet. The average rent in that area is going to be between $1,500 and $1,600. The smallest apartment area is going to be in California with 837 square feet with the average rent. So I went to Los Angeles. For a 2-bedroom in Los Angeles, it is going to be $2,900. That is $1,600 more than the mortgage on my 3-bedroom, 2-bathroom house. So, as you can see, apartments are about the same area. You do have the South seems to have a little bit bigger than the Northeast and then these Western areas here. But overall, they are pretty close to each other. All right, so highest paid public employees in each state. You will see that college football dominates the map with 26 states where college football is their highest paid public employee. Does not surprise me at all. The highest paid football coach is Nick Saban at the University of Alabama. He has now retired, but his pay was about $11.5 million. That's absolutely astonishing to me. Then you're going to have 12 states that have basketball coaches, the orange states. The highest paid basketball coach is at the University of Kentucky, John Calipari, at about $8.5 million. You're going to have these blue states who are non-coaches, medical school deans, college presidents, law school deans. And then you're going to have one state, Minnesota. Minnesota is always an outlier for stuff that has basketball and football as their highest paid profession. Just to kind of give an idea of pay differences, the average college professor in the average state makes about $97,000. So comparing the average college professor pay to the average to a sports coach's pay is astronomically different. All right, so now we're going to look at the richest billionaire in each state. So the richest billionaire on the list is Jeff Bezos, based out of Washington, with $193.8 billion, with Elon Musk right behind him in Texas with $191.8 billion. Those two do not surprise me at all. Also in that top list, you're going to have Zuckerberg in California, Facebook, of course, with $1.1 billion. You will see there are a couple states that don't have any billionaires: Alaska, New Mexico, North Dakota, Alabama, Delaware, Vermont, New Hampshire. They don't have anybody to put on the list. When we look at the lowest billionaires, we are going to have West Virginia, which is my state, with Jim Justice, who is also the governor right now, at $1.2 billion. And then you have everybody in between. Arizona or Arkansas, you're going to have Sam Walton. That is the Walmart company. New York, Michael Bloomberg. So you can see all the different billionaires and what states they live in across the United States. All right, so I did a world billionaires map after the U.S. billionaires map. This is from 2020, so the numbers could have changed by now. So when we look at North America, we have 658 billionaires. 614 of them are in the United States. In the United States, we have a total of $2.95 trillion combined between those billionaires. We move to Asia, which has more billionaires than the United States, with 799, with 388 of those being in China, with a total in combination of 1.19 trillion. If we go to Europe, we're going to see 510 billionaires, with the most being in Germany, 107, with $447 billion. We move down to Africa, down here in the bottom. You're going to have 19 billionaires, the most in Egypt. There's 6 of them, with a total combination of 17 billion. When we move to Latin America and the Caribbean, we're going to have Brazil with 45 billionaires, with 127 billion combined. And then when you move to Oceania, we're going to have Australia with Oceania total is 33, Australia with 31 of those, with a total of 95 billion. So this kind of shows just like how spread out the billionaires are, what countries they're in. You have some countries who don't have any. You have countries like Iceland who has 1, or New Zealand who has 2. And then you go to countries who have 300, 600, 100. So this is the World Billionaire Map. Like I said, it's from 2020, so numbers could have changed by now, but this was the last map that I could find. All right, and then the last map is also another map comparing different parts of the world. This is the 100 most valuable companies in 2020. This is also a 2020 map. It is the last map that I could find of the valuable brands. Of course, some of these have gone up, some of these have gone down, but this is what we have the data on right now. So number 1 is going to be Amazon, $221 billion. This is in the U.S. Also in the U.S., you're going to have Google, you're going to have Apple, you're going to have Facebook, Disney, AT&T, Verizon. These are all names we know. Starbucks, Nike, McDonald's. You even got like FedEx, GE, Chevron here. The Marlboro, which is the cigarettes, really surprised me that it was actually on this list. When we go to Europe, we have a little bit smaller of a circle, but you've got Mercedes-Benz, you've got Shell, you've got IKEA, Volkswagen. So this one is a bit smaller. And then you go to Asia, which their circle is smaller than the United States, but bigger than Europe, bigger than Europe. You're going to have Samsung. I don't know a whole lot of these Asian companies. You've got Toyota, Hyundai, Mitsubishi. So a lot of the car companies. So as you can see, this is the breakdown of where the companies are. The Middle East company, I have no idea how to say that. Looks like they just have one of the 100 most valuable. So the 100 most valuable brands in 2020. I hope you learned something new today with the 8 maps that I showed you. If you want to continue to see videos like this, please like, comment, and subscribe. And let me know, is there something you learned today that you didn't know? Was there some interesting fact that now you're going to go tell somebody? So until next time.